Do you know the definition of an airline? An airline is a company that takes you from a place you never wanted to start your journey to a place you never wanted to finish it. And do you know the definition of a low-cost airline? That's an organisation that takes you from a place you never wanted to start your journey to a place you'd never heard of. Okay, I'm picking on the airlines again. Again? Yes, again. Take a look at my blog, Codeshare Madness. Why the airlines? Well, apart from the fact that I have to use them regularly for work, they provide a really useful benchmark on how not to do marketing. You see, I've worked a little bit around the travel industry for a few years now, and I've been able to get some interesting insights into these businesses who, in financial terms, have contributed zero, absolutely zero, since Wilbur Wright first flew an aeroplane. And I'm quoting there one of the best financial brains in the world, Warren Buffett, the sage of Idaho, who said that in 1992. By the way, he also said 20 years later, in 2012, how do you become a millionaire? Make $1 billion and then buy an airline. So his view of airlines doesn't seem to have changed much over the past 20 years, does it? Where was I? Oh yes, I was talking about my airline insights and their abilities, or rather their inabilities, in relation to marketing. Airlines, you see, are brilliant at process. They know almost everything about how to load a plane and get it safely to its destination. They're brilliant at logistics. They move those aeroplanes around all over the world. They're pretty good at plant maintenance. They're pretty good at plant optimization. And they're really good at resources management. But they are absolutely useless, complete when it comes to marketing. Let me explain why I believe this to be the case. Well, apart from seeing us as passengers and not customers, and there's a clue there, apart from the brand madness of Codeshare, they just don't seem to understand what business they're in. You see, they think they're in the airline business, but they're not. They're in the travel and transportation business. And if they realise this, then perhaps they wouldn't think that their work had finished as you disembark. Now clearly that's what they do think. After all, the last thing you hear from them at the door of the aircraft is, "Thank you for flying with us. Have a very good and safe onward journey," leaving you on the first stage of your 2-week long-haul business trip to the vicissitudes of the baggage carousel in, say, Bangkok, where you find that that same airline that just washed its hands of you has just rerouted your luggage via Delhi and JFK in New York. You struggle through the taxi touts to find a cab that charges you 15 times the real fare to take you to your hotel. So perhaps if they acknowledged that they were in the travel business, perhaps they would offer us, for some incremental revenue, not simply a wider seat or increased baggage allowance, or for goodness sake, wine club offers. Wine club offers? Perhaps they would offer you, instead, a taxi to and from the airport. Now, as far as I'm aware, no airline makes this offer to their coach class passengers, and only a few offer it as a bundled service to their business class passengers. Strange when you consider that every airline is looking into every part of their service and unbundling that service for all it's worth. I soon expect, by the way, to have to pay extra for an aerodynamic fuselage. They're looking at everything they can to find what they call ancillary service revenue. And when you think how much data that they have on their frequent flyer card holders compared with, say, Tesco's club card holders, why are they so totally useless at leveraging that data in a meaningful and revenue generating way? They need to sit down and think about the customer story. They need to understand that passengers are travellers, and that those travellers, business or leisure, are high spending customers who might welcome something more than a broader smile, a bit more legroom, and an in-flight menu change. They need to be much better and more sophisticated when it comes to marketing and place it much higher up their list of priorities. Then perhaps they would start to return to shareholders a few more zeros with some nice integers in front of them, rather than that zero, absolutely zero, which Warren Buffett talked about. Just a thought, guys, get with the marketing stuff.